You're listening to From a Certain Point Askew, the only Star Wars podcast to bring you complete and absolute coverage from Celebration, while at the same time, not even being there. I'm Jason, the Angry Ginger Jedi Guy. I'm broadcasting live from inside my very own Wookiee Poo Studios. I'm not alone. On the holophone, we've got Darth Mathias. We're going to bring him in hot and heavy and celebratory.
No.
With a drink in hand.
Yes. No. Yes.
Dude,
yes.
Laughed so hard at that part.
It was pretty silly, but pretty fun.
Yeah.
Just before we get started, I want to say thank you to everybody on the Hyperspace Heroes podcast for having me on. It was going to be both of us, but unfortunately your schedule didn't work out. They understood. So thanks to Brown Leader, Scruffy, and DB. They gave us some call signs. So I am Obi and you are one.
Ah, okay.
When you do come on someday, you'll have that for you.
I'll be one. All right.
But no, I had a lot of fun. It's their most recent episode, just came out on Monday, so go check that out. Or I guess today's Wednesday now, so it came out on Wednesday. Shit. What day is it? Oh.
It is Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, yeah. So go check that out. Had a lot of fun with them. And then also wanted to mention that I finally got the store up. So the store is now live, and it's got some logos and shit in there. Was kind of going back and forth with our designer on a couple of things with some files that they gave us just to see if I could get a little bit more variety in the colors that we offer. So working on that, but there's some designs up there now, and some of that stuff will be included in our giveaway, which we'll talk about in a second, as kind of secondary prizes. But if you want to go support the show and buy a shirt, I mean, essentially, I always set the number that like we make like 9 cents on everything. Like I'm not trying to make profit on the store. I just want people to like rep our gear. That's all.
Okay, fair enough.
I turn that shit way down.
You should make like $1 or $2. Put it toward the show.
I think the most I make is just because I rounded it. It's like 78 cents.
All right.
Go check that out. It's in our show notes. If you want to find us on Twitter, we're at FACPA Pod. You can email us, facpapod@gmail.com. And we're part of the Podawans Podcast Network at Podawans on Twitter. And as I mentioned on the giveaway, we have 2 weeks left in the giveaway.
2 weeks.
And so you can win this Nerf Mandalorian Pulse Blaster, answer our question of the week. And I'll talk about that in a second. Do our Maul Bag, send us an email, send us a voicemail, or write us a review. And oh, by the way, I did get to the bottom of the last review we had where we weren't sure who that was. Remember Jen, the soccer mom? That was her husband.
Ah, okay.
So shout out to Job for writing that review for us. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Book of Job.
Yes.
On the show today, we've got a question of the week. Please tease us. In the news, we've got Star Wars Celemasturbration. Mandalorian Episode 7, The Spies, will be our big discussion, and then we'll go into a Maul Bag. A Maul Bag. That's a single one. An email. And no
voicemails. So it's a light week. Speaking of light weeks, on that question of the week, our question of the week was: teaser trailers were shown at Star Wars Celebration for the Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, Andor Season 2, and an extended Ahsoka trailer beyond what it was sent out on Twitter and YouTube and everything. What did us non-attendees miss? Wrong answers only. Well, I think a lot of people were busy this week.
Okay, because I was like, you didn't fill anything out in here.
Well, I was thinking, okay, either my assignment was too difficult, or not intriguing, or also everybody was just jizzing all over Star Wars Celebration stuff and just completely missed it. It's partly my fault too. I never like retweeted it out, so I never kind of gave everybody the reminder. And so I thought, well, shit, we didn't get any answers. Well, I actually looked back. We did get one answer, and that was from Brian Hour. So Brian Hour, thank you for sending something in. He said, talking about the attendees, they call us regs, and we missed the announcement of Tramp Freighter, the sequel to X-Wing Alliance, an open-world game where you make credits hauling cargo, hunting pirates, becoming a pirate, or becoming a bounty hunter in the Outer Rim. Did you have an answer for that question?
Did he make that up, or is that real?
I think that's real. He always has this he has this wealth of knowledge about all these games, like old school, whether they're like role-playing games or like PC games that not many people played or whatever. He's got this arsenal of that shit.
Yeah, he's like Star Wars Rain Man.
Yeah, he's kind of the Echo.
And yet he listens to us knuckleheads.
I still don't get it. But thank you, Brian.
Yes,
we appreciate the support. Did you have an answer for that? Did you have any clever answers?
I want to say that I wrote something on this, but no, I don't. But I did want to add, like, maybe we don't have, because you ask, what did us non-attendees miss? And I'm thinking, like, anyone that attended probably doesn't listen to the show. Why? Because they have their own fucking podcast.
That's very true. I think there's some people. There's a few people out there, maybe. The only one I came up with, just because I did it the last second when I was noticing that we had no answers, is I said, Krieger returns in season 2 of Andor. Remember, Krieger was the guy that they set up to fall, to get destroyed. And he was telling Saw, you got to work with Krieger. And he kept talking about Krieger.
Yes.
And then we just got to hollow him. He's a bald dude with a beard. So he returns. And again, Luthen just keeps making him the fall guy. And he keeps like, dude, come on.
He's like Jerry in the Parks and Recs.
Right, exactly.
Talk shit about him all the time.
Played by that guy, even better. All right, so news, really the only thing was around.
It was a really light week.
Very light. Yeah. Not much going on. Yeah. When I was going through all the shit, I was like, how am I going to pull this all together into some sort of structure for us to go over? And first of all, it looked like a lot of fun. They had a lot of shit there. A lot of people showed up. The next event, by the way, is 2025 as we expected in Japan.
Japan?
Didn't see that coming.
No, I didn't either.
No, so I guess episode 200 not going to happen unless we can find a way over there. It's going to be episode 300.
Maybe if we charge a little bit more for the T-shirts, we'd be able to go to Japan.
Build up a fund? No, we blow it all in the giveaways. Doesn't Dougie always go to Japan? Let's get him involved.
I don't know if he went once. I don't know if he's been back, but I know he's planning on going. So he can at least be our tour guide.
Yeah, get him a T-shirt, have him represent over there. Come on.
That's right.
So the big news right off the bat was the 3 Star Wars films that were announced. So a couple things. One, they had this graphic that Kathleen Kennedy showed, and it was showing this timeline.
Yes.
Stick with me.
Lost Cole.
Yes, but it went from Dawn of the Jedi, which is new, Old Republic, High Republic, Fall of the Jedi, Reign of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, New Republic, Rise of the First Order. We knew all those. And then now New Jedi Order.
Is this the one that just had the symbols?
Yes.
For each? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, going across.
Yep.
And also a quick note, just before I forget, is that Kennedy did confirm that all new films will have the scroll.
Yeah, I saw. You know what? I didn't see that anywhere except for on Twitter. Someone had said something about it being confirmed, but I hadn't seen like an article. Okay.
They asked her about it and said, "Well, you did it for the saga films. You didn't do it for Solo or Rogue One." And she was saying like how that's one of the differentiators going forward between series and movies is the films will all have the crawl. Which okay, it's kind of a small thing. However, when those horns blast you in the face when you're sitting in the theater, it's pretty spine tingling.
It puts you in the mood.
Yeah, it
ladies.
Totally play that when you bring home a gal to your house.
Every time the bedroom door closes, get you laid every time.
Yeah, right. So of the 3 movies, the first one was the former Lindelof project.
Yeah,
that is now being written by Stephen Knight, which apparently is Kennedy's expecting the script in about 6 weeks. So I hope he heard that. Was that almost like a subtweet?
That's why he wasn't there. He's fucking in a hotel room somewhere with fucking like stormtroopers guarding the door. You're not allowed food until we have a draft.
He's watching live the panel and just spits his coffee out everywhere. 6 weeks. I just came on.
Oh man.
But this is the project that's being directed by Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy. That you would assume this is the next one, 2025, based on how far
I was just
along
looking. I saw something today. I don't know if it was a Hollywood Reporter or what, because they've been Variety, everyone. They kind of been going back into it and summing things up or trying to get a little bit more details on things. And they were saying that she's not beholden to a date. So the one that they had for the 25th for what December of 2025 or was it 2024 was the first one?
25.
Yeah. They're not beholden to that. Like they're not announcing like we're sticking to dates because they think that's something that hurt them in the past. Okay. But that they're still looking to start filming, I think, soon. And then they want when it comes out the next year, another one comes out.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
We don't want to be beholden. We don't want to announce dates and be beholden to those, but we're going to announce the movies again. We're going to all these movies we had to retract on. We're going to just keep throwing them out there.
Were you surprised by any of them?
The Mangled one, didn't know that was coming. No. That was a surprise. But this one was not a surprise, but it was a surprise, I guess, I think we knew it was going to be like going forward, this film. Figured maybe Rey might be in it, but it was officially announced she will be in it.
Right.
She's like restoring the Jedi Order and all that stuff. So you would assume we'll see some others I think they asked Kennedy about that, and she was like, well, sure, like there's probably going to be some that show up. I mean, I hope they find a way to convince Boyega to come back. I'd like to see Finn again, especially with that, the Jedi Order thing, since they were kind of alluding to him having some sensitivity.
Yeah.
If Oscar Isaac needs another house by then maybe he'll be involved.
I think somehow Poe survived.
But yeah, set 15 years after Rise of Skywalker is what they said. So that'll be fun.
I hope they don't put like age makeup on them, like make them look older.
Well, you kind of don't necessarily have to.
Yeah, because it's going to be, 8 years after?
2019 to 6 years, I guess, would be the gap, right? Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they necessarily have to do that. But we'll see. Are you excited for that one? Like, is that one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have as much of a problem with those sequels as a lot of people do. I mean, I have problems with parts of them,
yeah.
But Rey as a character, I've always enjoyed. I never had a problem or the Mary Sue issue or anything.
Right.
From the beginning, I always felt we were led to believe there was a reason why she was so good at everything. It wasn't just because she's a woman, It was, she had, midichlorians, something like that. Not as stupid as the Anakin thing, but like, she was strong. So we were like, oh, she's a Kenobi or she's a Palpatine. And then when we got our answer, everyone was pissed off about it.
Oh, everybody's, yeah. The amount of angst over that is pretty crazy. Mm-hmm. And the people who want to do the whole the retcon thing don't, that's never going to happen, man.
No.
Come on.
No. The movie made $1 billion fucking dollars.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason the character, like, it works. Say what you want about the faults, but you're getting another one.
Yeah, right.
Now, do you think Grogu will be in it?
Good question. It would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Unless he, dies in season 4 of Mando.
Well, I guess it depends on, no shit. I guess it depends on like what way they go with, does he follow? Does he become a Jedi? Does he become a Mandalorian? Is he both? Is he, so I guess it'll kind of see, we'll see what happens.
I would be surprised if he doesn't have some appearance in that in some way. They've got to include him somehow. The second one was the Filoni one. So our boy Dave Filoni was announced as director of his own film. You were thinking maybe it's possibly a possible trilogy.
Yeah, I don't see them. For years now, they've been trying to do this with a couple of different series. The first one, well, actually, I think the first one was the movie bombed, but what was the name of Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman? Uh-huh. They built that movie and they were keeping the sets and they were like, I think they already had scripts written. They were gonna write like a series. It was gonna air on, I think, NBC. It was gonna be 8 or 10 episodes and then go into like the next movie. And then Ron Howard was trying to do that when him and Grazer had the rights to what's Stephen King's The Towers.
Right. I know what you're talking about,
okay.
But I can't. The Dark Tower?
Yeah. It was going to be a film, and then the flashback stuff was going to be a series, and then going to the next book of the film. It was going to be 3 films, and I can't remember if it was going to be 2 or 3 seasons they were doing that. And now Game of Thrones has announced they're doing that. They're spinning off the new Game of Thrones into its own movie and another series that'll lead into it. So they've been trying to do it for a while, and you heard Favreau talk, and he's like, this thing can go on forever. Like, there's no reason. Like, we don't have an end date on this. So to me, it makes sense. Like, these are all the lead ups to like the big climax of what it's going to be, and then you just start another story thread, right? And you pick up and you go on again. I mean, why? Filoni, what Filoni and Favs are walking after this movie airs. Like, we had a good time, we're done. Someone else can take over. Like,
right. Well, that's what I'm wondered about is, I mean, at some point somebody was saying like, oh, this is the culmination of all the Mandoverse series into one event, like almost like saying like it's wrapping it up, but it's, right. I don't think it's wrapping it up. And then it's a matter of, are they plotting it out to say, okay, when this movie hits, we're going to cover this major event, but then this series will still go on, or this series will be created off of it, like you said. Be interested to see how that goes. But you would assume this would be the 2027 release if, again, date's not being set, but somewhere in that timeline, because I think even Kennedy said it's like 6 or 7 years away, this film.
That's a bummer, man, but I get it. I mean, they've got, how many shows, another's possibly a second season of Ahsoka before they even lead into it. I mean, it doesn't seem like they're in any rush to wrap all this stuff up, So,
yeah,
and even
exactly. They've got Mando, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew all still going, so those are going to take time, Then, the James Mangold film. That was the one that was, surprising. Didn't see that coming. Currently codenamed Star Wars Zero. He obviously just got done making Indy. I saw that trailer. That trailer looks pretty fun.
God, yes. I mean, he really captured like the Spielberg vibe. Like Mangold's a hell of a filmmaker, but that's to me next level. Like that's almost unachievable.
Well, we need redemption from Crystal Skull, so
yes,
fingers crossed. And shit, that movie comes out in like 2 months.
Are you saying Spielberg didn't capture Spielberg with that one?
That was a bad effort. I
yeah.
still have a lot of trouble with that one. The first 3 liked a lot. That one, not so much. But this is meant to be going back to the very, very beginning of the story. This is that Dawn of the Jedi thing. It's essentially the first guy who became, or first gal who became a Jedi, found the Force, etc. So, and I think it was described like as almost like a biblical epic film,
right, like a Ben-Hur or something.
Yeah, Ben-Hur, 10 Commandments, I think are the 2 that he cited as being like inspirations. So he says he's currently writing the film and developing the characters and all that stuff. So who knows how far this one's out.
I wonder if he accidentally let it slip, because there was a tease when James Gunn announced the DC Phase 1. And just after, he said he'd been talking to some directors and writers, like big ones, for the projects, but he had announced Swamp Thing. And then it was rumored that James Mangold might be interested in doing Swamp Thing, but no one knew, it wasn't announced. And then when he came out, he's like, well, I'm writing Swamp Thing and this Star Wars movie at the same time. So really, it's like whatever one gets finished and takes off is the one that I'll be doing next, And then a couple hours later, James Gunn tweets something about, yeah, I knew Mangold, he's doing it. So like, I don't know if he was like, yeah, I'm out there on the stage, I'm excited, and this is what I'm doing. And it doesn't matter, but I really want to see both versions of those films. I hope he gets to do both, but I guess he doesn't have to be in a rush, because to me, out of the 3 films, I think that should be the last one.
It should. I mean, it has no bearing on anything else,
right?
Necessarily, especially like the Filoni one is going to be timed with all those series somehow. But this one and the other one's so far along, and this has to be the 3rd one, I would say.
It's so far, though, like 25,000 years before. Like, why go that far? Just do like, Jesus Christ, when you tell the story of Jeebus, it's 2,023 years ago. You don't need 25. It's a fucking Homer Simpson. Praise Jeebus. Yeah, it just seems so far. And then, so what do you think the movie's going to be, though? So I was thinking back to like Clone Wars, right? Like there's a couple of story threads in there that they talk about like back in the day. One of them is, what is it, Mortis? The father, son, and daughter, and where's their story? Maybe he's the father.
It's the father. That could be. Maybe they just wanted to create an enormous gap where they could do all sorts of content in between.
Oh, jeez, yeah, no shit. Like they love to fill the holes, don't they?
Oh my god. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, it's a cool new concept. Anytime Star Wars kind of tries to do something a little bit new, it's always kind of fun, like for instance with what they did with Andor and being very different than anything we'd seen.
Yeah.
So I'm open to it. I want to see what he puts together, and then it just opens the door to do whatever you want. Like you could create a massive series of movies off that if this goes well.
I mean, Mangold, dude, he's a hell of a filmmaker, so I can see this is something that's like right up his alley. What was the movie he just did with Matt Damon and Christian Bale, the Ferrari, right? And
Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, he did 310 to Yuma. What was the one he did? There's another one that's in there that was pretty damn big. I want to say his first movie was like Copland.
I know he did Copland. I think, and I did. Did you saw Ford versus Ferrari? That was a good movie.
I saw parts. I've never sat down and watched the whole film.
Okay. Yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah.
I was just looking to see what else was on the list, because he did all those Logan films and stuff.
He did Logan. That's what I'm forgetting. So he's definitely someone that can do the genre stuff,
Right. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, as far as the other potential films that were kind of sort of maybe a little bit discussed, Taika Waititi's film appears to still be in the works, but it is definitely not imminent. Her quote was, Taika's still working away. He's writing the script himself. He doesn't really want to bring others into that process, and I don't blame him. He has a very, very unique voice, so we want to protect that, and that's what he's doing. But we're going to make that one day. So I think
that's fair.
It's basically like, look, we love what you do. We think you can bring an interesting story to Star Wars whenever you're ready.
Right. Yeah.
And I like the fact that he tells them, look, don't bother me. I'm gonna write a script.
Yeah, you're gonna have to fill your hole with someone else right now, woman.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
I'm gonna tell you what the story's about, and you can tell me what you think of it later. But I'm not gonna take input right now. I'm not taking notes. No mention of the Sean Levy production.
Yeah, that's right.
She also basically said that it's kind of similar situation. She's like, Rian Johnson really wants to work with Star Wars again. I've talked to him a bunch. Nothing's on the docket.
She's like, he's going to do another one of those Glass Onion movies. I was like, she doesn't even call it Knives Out. It's and like realistically, he doesn't either. He doesn't want it to be a Knives Out series. That was Netflix that made him. It was supposed to be Knives Out, or was it the Glass Onion, a Knives Out story or whatever the hell they titled it. And he fought them. He didn't want that. But for branding, it works.
They want to, right.
They need to go back to Knives Out and or give it like a title, like retro it like they did like Star Wars: A New Hope.
Right.
Instead, like it's Knives Out, but like what is the
episode number?
Blanc mystery or whatever the hell it's called.
The original Knives Out is episode 13. They're going to start that far down.
Yeah.
Rogue Squadron could still happen, she said. Again, not in active production, but she said that could eventually happen as a film, or she said maybe even a series. And I was like, ooh, a series would be kind of fun for that type of show.
Yeah.
And then she also said, like all the rumors about the Feige film, she's like, she said that never really had legs.
Oh, really?
Like he's too busy with Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, so I'm not saying it's not going to happen someday, but there's never been that's never been a project that ever got
bullshit
started.
Because they announced a screenwriter on that.
Did they?
Right? Didn't they?
Well, there was rumors of it. I don't know that it was announced.
The guy who wrote Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange 2.
Yes, but was it officially announced, or was that just a rumor that we covered?
Okay, I don't know if it was official.
I'm guessing it's a rumor.
I don't know if it was Variety has announced that, but I think it was. Okay.
You might have read it on the toilet. It was the Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah.
And then also on the series front, lots of questions about Kenobi, since Ewan just keeps fucking talking about it. Hey, I'm happy to come back. He keeps saying it.
That fucker's like 3 days from like buying a bottle of whiskey and a stogie and locking himself in a hotel room and writing the damn thing himself.
Yes, he really wants to do it.
He's going Hemingway, full Hemingway. It's going to be his great American author story.
Yeah. Well, Kennedy's like, nothing on the horizon right now, but never say never. So she's just leaving the door open. But
I just had like how do you not do this? How do you not make the Baby Jeebus Star Wars story like the long lost descendant, the god, right? It's got to be Kenobi, because Kenobi is always Jesus and all those fucking memes and shit.
Yeah, true. So it's a descendant of his or an ancestor of his.
Yep.
It's Dennis Lawson. It's his uncle.
Who's coming back?
No. He is coming back.
Yeah.
And then on Lando, Kennedy said, I can just tell you it's still happening, and he's still very excited about it.
Yeah.
Does he agree with that?
I think there was something that came out where he said something, but I know
he was
involved with that Swarm show. He's wrapping up Atlanta.
Yeah.
I know Phoebe Waller-Bridge walked away, but I think he's still attached to the Amazon Mr. and Mrs. Smith show, because they were both going to be creators and writers on it. And I'm not sure why she left, so I don't think they hired someone else for that yet. So he's busy.
Okay.
But
well,
I don't know. Like, how do you not? I would push all my creative endeavors aside to be Lando.
Well,
again.
of course, but we're Star Wars fans.
Yeah,
like, not
true.
to say that he isn't, and he loved playing the character.
Yeah.
But he's got a lot of other stuff going on that competes with that interest. So I don't know. I'm sure it'll happen one day. He's a young guy. It can happen whenever. So let's get to the shows that are in production.
Okay.
Ahsoka. Probably the most news about any show is around Ahsoka.
I got The Force Awakens, like I welled up watching this fucking trailer. I was like, oh my God, it's fucking Star Wars. I didn't expect it. Like I thought you know what it was it doesn't like have that darker vibe that the Mandalorian has. Like the cinematography is different. It's very much looks like Clone Wars Rebels. About shit my pants when I saw the tower in Lothal. Like, just all the stuff was there, and I'm like, holy shit! Like this is right off of the animated screen, man. It just it gave me chills.
Yeah, it was great. And it was, they showed the trailer. They also had like an extended trailer. Again, saw, mobile phone video of it. Which
For those of you who showed up to Celebration, here's Thrawn's face.
Yeah, I know. We'll show the back of his head. Everybody else is going to show his face to you guys. But they announced a lot. They announced the directors, the launch month of August.
Do you have the list of directors in front of you? Like, what a cast of directors, man.
Yeah, so it's obviously Filoni, and then Rick Famuyiwa, who is doing some fucking great work.
Yeah.
Peter Ramsey, who directed Chapter 11, The Pirate of Mando. Geeta Vasant Patel, Steph Green, who did Chapter 2 of Book of Boba, Tribes of Tatooine. Jennifer Getzinger, who's like Mad Men, director and such.
Yeah.
They also said Kevin Kiner's doing the fucking score. Let's go.
And you missed the Daniels. Weren't they on there too?
Oh, were they on there? Did I miss one?
Was it the Ahsoka? Oh, not Ahsoka. Oh, the Daniels are, I think, Skeleton Crew.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Those are the ones I believe for Ahsoka.
Yeah.
All that stuff was announced. 8 episodes is what they're saying. Coming in August. Don't know when. And the other big kind of reveal was that they actually had Lars Mikkelsen walk out onto the stage as announcing that he is Thrawn. So we get the guy who was the voice of him in Rebels, which is fucking fantastic. Not shocking revelation because I think a lot of people were hoping that was going to be the casting, and then, it was alluded to several times. And it makes sense. He's Galen Erso's brother. So it makes sense.
Well, that's what I was saying. Do you think like the two of them get together at dinner and like Matt Mikkelsen has had like, I would say, the more prominent career.
Sure.
Even though Lars, he's known, but now he's like, I'm fucking Thrawn. Like, next to Vader, I am the biggest badass in the Star Wars universe.
You got to be in
you're
one.
Dead.
Yeah, you got to be in one movie and you're dead.
Right. Yeah.
How do you like me now? And then that's when Mads goes, well, I'm in the new Indy.
Right.
So let's talk about the trailer. So yeah, you mentioned the Lothal shot. So it's the exact shot we see at the end of the Rebels epilogue, where in comes Ahsoka being escorted by a couple X-Wings over the tower that Sabine's now hanging out in, that was formerly Ezra's, living arrangement. In the extended trailer, it looks like we see Sabine in that tower igniting Ezra's lightsaber.
Oh.
The green lightsaber, and fighting that blonde gal, Shin, who we'll talk about in a minute.
Oh, really?
The badass looking, yeah.
Okay.
Did you not see any of the extended trailer bits?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, spoilers for anybody who didn't see it.
Now,
but yeah,
she's got his lightsaber with him when he went with Thrawn and the whales?
I don't recall that. I was thinking about that myself, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Ezra's lightsaber. It's a green lightsaber. It looks like his.
Okay.
So yeah, so she's doing it. And there's also a shot of her driving into the city on that road between the tower and the city. Okay. And she's on a speeder bike. And it looks fucking perfect. It looks just like the goddamn animation. They did a great job. So that looks sweet. And then we also see a shot of her looking at Ezra's hollow.
Yep.
Because they say, there's not many Jedi left. And Amon Esfandi confirmed that's him.
Well, I'll tell you, didn't even notice that when I watched the trailer the first time because it was on my phone. And then I was like, I need to watch this on the big screen. So I'm watching, I was like, oh shit, this is Ezra.
Yeah, right. I think everybody saw that and went, that's got to be Ezra, right? It's Ezra, right? Yeah. And then he confirmed it. He's like, thank you for letting me star in a hollow. Like, well, that's a sign that we're going to see it some other way. The opening shot, the temple, you would assume that she goes to, Ahsoka. There's a shot of her later fighting off some droids in that same spot, but the shot you see at the beginning is her like cutting into the ground and dropping into that chamber. And now are we to assume this is where she gets to that room where that Balin Skull guy is, the guy, the silver-haired guy, Ray Stevenson?
That's what I'm thinking. Like it's an entrance to the
World Between Worlds?
That's what
is it the World Between Worlds?
Yeah. I mean, if it is, it looks differently on film than it does in the cartoon. But to me, it looks like they gave it a little bit more depth because to animate it would have been a pain in the ass. So let's just make it black and white, But I mean, yeah, I think it is.
The way it's so funny because the background of it looks like it's a film set. Like it's almost like there's like cameras and lighting in the background or something. It looks really weird. And so maybe he was putting on productions. He's doing like cable access show there. But you'd assume that that's what that's supposed to be, maybe. But man, if that is the case, this really opens the door in a scary way for me to things that they might be able to do and what the plot of this show is going to be. Because I always get real nervous about them tinkering with the time travel thing in different dimensions and stuff like that. Because as you know, I hate the Mandoverse. I hate the metaverse, the whole concept.
Okay, I'm thinking this is how Thrawn comes back.
Through that World Between Worlds?
Possibly, because if they can't find him, they don't know where he is, right?
They go back to when he was taken?
Just yank his fucking ass out, yeah.
Just like they grease up that purgle so he gets loose.
Although, no, that wouldn't make any sense because then he would have been back for quite some time.
Right. Well, maybe. I mean, it's like I said, it's all weird timelines. Right. So it's kind of whenever. The one thing that made me think that it could be, that it could be too, is they show that shot of that Balin, his name's Balin Skull, who I guess maybe... I asked you, is this supposed to be that Joris Sabalth guy, or how to say his name? It could be a character kind of supposed to be similar to that guy.
I'm thinking so.
Yeah. But they show him at one point with his like Vader scene walking down the hallway deflecting shots and slicing up rebel dudes. It doesn't look exactly like the same uniforms they had in A New Hope era.
It's pretty damn close, though.
But it's close, and so
and
that
that's
made me
why
think.
That's what made me think is he from another time, or did he go
Right.
into a time?
Is it a flashback, or is it
Yeah.
him jumping into another scene? It does make you wonder. That's what I was curious about. I wasn't sure. Anyway, we'll see. The World Between Worlds, really, like I said, that changes a lot of things if that happens. His apparently he's supposed to be working for the Elspeth, that magistrate that we met in the Mando episode with Ahsoka that she fights, and also working for him as his apprentice is this Shin Hati, I think as they said, Hati.
Oh,
Ivana Sacco, the blonde gal. She looks bad fucking ass.
Yeah. She looks like she's had a bad childhood and she's putting it on everybody.
She is taking it out. It definitely looks like she's got a chip on her shoulder.
She's an 80s kid that was neglected.
Well, it's because she's so upset she still hasn't dealt with the tragic loss of Tech.
Oh.
Because it's Omega.
Oh.
Everybody was
that
saying
be a
that.
fucking
It's not
spin?
Omega. It's not Omega. Everybody was saying that.
I hope
Is that
so.
Omega? But she's smoking fools on that ship's bridge. She's fighting Sabine, like I said before. I mean, she's piloting a starfighter and has the same headgear that Obi-Wan and Anakin had
from
in the prequels.
episode 2. Yeah, so that's another one. I'm like, okay, these things aren't like the tech isn't meshing up with what they usually show in these timelines. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that makes me think they're hopping around a little bit. They're on their own mission.
It could be, or she was just getting into her ship, and they were like, "This is the only headset we got left. It's an old one."
What if the fucking spoiler alert of all of Ahsoka at the end is you learn they never figured out cloning, so they just rip Palpatine out before he dies, and then they fucking whisk him to the future?
It wouldn't surprise me. God, that's what I'm telling you, man. World Between Worlds, dangerous territory. You see Hera and Chopper, which is cool. Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And flying the Phantom, the little dinghy for the Ghost.
Yep.
Of course, Chopper in the catbird seat. Can't wait to see him in live action.
They could have put at least one swear word in there for him.
Yeah, they got to have something there. Assuming Filoni's going to be his voice again. Then we hear we see her addressing someone at one point, Hera, and saying, "We have to prepare for the worst." And I think, even though they cut it to look a different way, I think she's the one who's talking to Mon Mothma and crew.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, they were making it look like Ahsoka saying this stuff about Thrawn to Mon Mothma. I think it's her talking to them. So your gal Mon's back.
Oh yeah. Did you notice that she got the close up too? Like they show the 5 in the frame, and then they zoom in on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you wanted to watch it on the big screen.
Kids, leave the room.
I'm gonna need a minute. Yeah, we also saw the shot of Thrawn walking away.
Don't you walk away from me.
Yeah, don't walk away from me, Thrawn. And that's what she's talking about. He's returning as the heir to the Empire. She literally said it out loud. The fucking title of the book series that I'm currently reading. So that was exciting.
How far are you on the heir to the Empire?
I'm like 2/3 of the way through the second book.
Now, when I was a kid, I was writing my own story one time. And when I was telling you the other day that I thought Saboth, how do you say his name?
Saboth. I always say Saboth, but that's
fucking
wrong.
CB.
CB.
Did he have a female apprentice? Was he traveling with a female?
Not where I am now. He's all by himself.
Okay, so I was making shit up then. Okay.
Okay, yeah, because I was
in my own world between worlds.
Well, it might be coming. I don't know, but like for anybody who doesn't want to know these stories and wants to read the books later, don't listen to this part. But the point I am in the story is because your gal Mara Jade's in the story big time, but she's not affiliated with him, and because a lot of people are saying that about the Shin character too. Oh, is that Mara Jade? Because everybody always says that. Anytime there's a woman, like that's a Mara Jade. But at this point, Luke has just gone to CB. At this, they're chatting, and Luke's kind of not sure what the fuck this dude's up to.
So that's when he realizes his force powers aren't working, and he tells him about the Yelsamari how you say that shit.
The Salamari or whatever. Yeah, there's that whole thing. Yeah, so that's where I am right now. So we'll see. I'm interested to see how this plays out, but I've just been kind of slowly making my way through the books. In the extended trailer, like we talked about, they do show the face of Thrawn. It kind of looks like a blued version of Data from Star Trek.
Oh wow.
I hope it turns out better than that.
I hope the blue looks just as bad as it does on what's his face.
David Cross?
And yeah, yes.
I blew myself.
That was one of the quotes I saw was I think it was Filoni said it was very difficult to get that blue to look right on screen.
I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure, and even with Hera, I think Hera looks good, but like I'm anxious to see what it looks like over the course of actual watching live scenes, because that's tough to pull off.
I think maybe they're trying to save budget, but what really works is just putting the dots on their face like they did with Paul Bettany as Vision.
Right.
Because, I mean, that looks amazing as, just like, what are they, fucking digital skin grafting.
Right. And it does, yeah, it doesn't look fake. Yeah,
right.
No, you're right. Well, we'll see. And we'll see in the making of.
Yeah, true.
But they also show, like I said before, Morgan Elsbeth. That's the gal that fought Ahsoka. And she's, got Balin and Shin working for her. And she clearly works for Thrawn and is very loyal to Thrawn. Then we see some sort of Inquisitor character that she's fighting at one point, Ahsoka, who's got like the double red blades. Is that supposed to be an Inquisitor?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got that blade it shows, and he kind of looks, I mean, you only see it for a second because he gets pushed back or whatever.
Yeah.
But it looks like one of the, was he the one that, did he fall off the pyramid, or was he the one that choppered away? I think he was the one that fell off.
It kind of looks like that. Well, there's so many of them, but he's got the double blade so he can do the chopper.
Yeah. Yep.
Which still doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, no, not at all.
But whatever. It was a cool effect. I could see that, but then it's like, okay, so is that a flashback? Or is this, because the Inquisitors are supposed to all be dead by then?
Well, the Jedis are all supposed to be dead too.
Yeah,
so.
That's true. Maybe one was hanging around.
You got a lone Inquisitor.
Well, there's another shot of him in the extended trailer where he's in a ship shooting at somebody as well.
Oh, okay.
We see also in the extended trailer, which you did not see at one point.
Why don't you just share this extended trailer with me that you have apparently watched
did send
37
it to you.
times? Oh, yeah, that's right. And then when I hit play, it was already gone. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Every time you send it, you have to it's like a little time capsule. You have to.
Should have called me and woke me up. Watch this now.
This video will self-destruct in 1 hour. There is a shot at the end, right after they show the title card of Ahsoka. Mm-hmm. There's a quick shot that they show of Sabine and Ahsoka flying in her ship, and they look up, and it's a fucking huge Purgle.
Oh, okay.
Which you would expect.
Yeah,
we'll see some Purgle. And then the last thing I was going to mention just is that I don't know how you say his name, Huang or something. The droid saber maker,
the robot. Yeah,
yeah, that one was in the trailer, the main trailer, and that's the same guy who voiced him in Clone Wars.
Yep, it's Doctor Who.
Yes, right. So a lot of stuff,
mm-hmm.
A lot of fucking shit for Ahsoka, a lot of stuff to get us all excited and speculate and all that kind of thing. I'll be interested to see when we get the next trailer for that, and if they will ever show us that extended one. It feels like whenever they do these things for the attendees, we never actually end up seeing them.
Oh, the extended version?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. No.
They'll show us something else.
We'll see. Probably those shots will be like in the trailer that they release. Like,
yeah, they might incorporate them.
Like, yeah, in July when they drop a trailer. Now, it says August, but I'm betting dollars to donuts that it's going to be fucking September.
Like very end of August?
Haven't they pushed like the last 3 shows like a month, or the one was like 3 weeks or 2 weeks, right?
Mando they pushed.
I think Andor they pushed too, and then they ended up putting 3 episodes.
You're right. They did.
Yeah.
They did push it, but part of that was rumored because they didn't want to put it up against the Amazon Lord of the Rings show.
Oh, right.
Because they were all releasing at the same time. So I don't know.
Which anyway. I just read a really interesting. What did it say? Like 47% of the audience never watched. Was it past the first episode, third episode?
I still haven't seen it.
That's a $1 billion between buying the rights and producing 2 seasons, and they didn't get so they got to put some eyeballs on that one way or another.
PJ, what's up, dude? Oh, and by the way, there was a question for Lars Mikkelsen at the event. They said, well, are we going to see Thrawn pop up in one of the last 2 episodes of Mando season 3? And he said, I cannot answer that.
It doesn't. Oh God, I think it doesn't make sense for him to pop up. Like just
not even a little tease just to set up Ahsoka.
No, I think the big reveal should be Ahsoka. I mean, they've teased him enough. I don't even know if there's room in the next episode, unless you get like all of a sudden one of the fucking holograms called back and he's like, oh, by the way, he showed up.
Shoves the guy out of the way. Yeah. I'm here. You want to keep talking shit, Moff?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we'll see. I could see them doing that, or maybe a back of the head shot again. Who knows? But probably not some massive reveal. There's also, we had talked about, will Barriss Offee be in this show, Ahsoka?
Yes, we did.
And no sign of her yet. But I mean, there's been rumors about her being cast.
Is that who we were thinking the one actress that plays the apprentice? Is that who we were thinking she was?
I thought it was somebody else we thought was going to be that.
Okay.
I'll have to go back and look.
Yeah.
I can't remember. And then just today they announced that Wes Chatham, I guess you would know from Hunger Games, he's in Tenet, and some show called The Expanse, which I'm not familiar with. He was cast in Ahsoka as Thrawn's right-hand man, which is confusing to me because reading the Heir to the Empire books, that is somebody else who we're about to talk about in a second. However, I guess in the newer Zahn books, this character exists. This right-hand man that looks more. Okay. So yeah, that character's been added as well. So man,
but the newer Zahn books, that trilogy, the Thrawn trilogy or whatever they're calling it, the Ascendancy, aren't those like prequels? Those are like way back before Rebels, right?
I'm not sure.
Because Vader's on the cover of one of them.
Well, that would be weird then, because I don't know how that's going to work then. But this is the character they think that they're bringing, and this would be later.
Huh.
Oh, well, no, I guess it wouldn't. Well, no, it would. I don't know. We'll get into it in a minute. I just thought that was interesting casting. That's it for Ahsoka. Jesus Christ. Okay. How far into the show are we? Well,
we've covered the whole episode.
Oh my God. We're going to break this in two. Some of these we can go through pretty quick. Yeah. Skeleton Crew, let's go through that real quick. I did see a little bit of the teaser, and then it was gone again, and I couldn't find it. Did you see it?
I saw, like, there was a scene where the kids kind of all, pop up in the class. I'm trying to think. I think someone said there was a shot of him using his lightsaber, Jude Law's character. I think I got cut off by a certain point. Yeah. But what I saw was just kind of the kids like talking about going on an adventure. And apparently what they're doing is essentially they're like sneaking out. Like they're sneaking out of the house. And the parents are like, where'd the kids go? Okay. Sleepover gone wrong. Okay.
Yeah, right. Then they're on speeder bikes. And then somehow they get, I think, off planet or whatever. And I think they get thrown in some sort of jail. And that's when they meet Jude Law, who is a Jedi, and like kind of helps them open the door and get out.
Okay.
That's my understanding of what happened. It also showed Vane, the pirate. Yes. Remember we were talking about how there was a pirate?
I saw that and I did see that because it was such a quick shot though, and I was like, hey, is that so we know he survived. It didn't. I thought I read something that said what's his face? Pizza the Hutt was in it as well.
It did? Well, because he's dead.
Right. So does this take place before he dies then?
This series that's been a little bit loose. This is obviously it could be in the same time frame. Mm-hmm. We don't know exactly when it will go, but I don't know. We're not sure. Okay. So we'll see. But that was kind of all I got from Skeleton Crew. They didn't have much more to share than that, but that teaser. It's, again, just show us the fucking teaser, man. I know. What are they, so I have to watch this bullshit grainy video.
So there was no release date on that, right? So we're getting Ahsoka.
2024, I think they said. No, they didn't say. It could still be the end of this year, but doubtful.
I hope so.
It would be nice. It'd be nice if they let that shit run in December.
Right.
Do that.
Yeah.
On the heels of Ahsoka. Acolyte. Well, we learned that, I don't say his name right, Eunice Swatomo, how do you say his name? The fucking guy who plays Chewie. The new Chewie.
Yeah, he's going to play a Jedi.
He's in it, yeah. So at first I'm like, oh, cool, Chewbacca's in it. And then I realized it's not Chewbacca.
No.
His name's Kel Naka. And he's a Jedi, a Wookiee Jedi.
That's awesome.
So he's all jacked up for that because he gets to play with lightsabers and shit.
All I saw was a clip where it was like a cloaked figure walking into like an old timey, like, was it like a village or a hut or something?
Like a little tavern.
It looks like they get in like a prison fight, like West Side Story. They like pull out knives and one does like a force push. And that's all I saw. So
that is Carrie-Anne Moss. And that's all I need.
Oh.
Carrie-Anne Moss is the Jedi.
Really?
And Amanda Stenberg is the main character. She was going in to like kill her. So they are fighting. Okay. So I believe the story is supposed to be that Amanda Stenberg is because they show kids at one point being trained by that Jedi Master guy. I'm forgetting the actor's name. So she clearly is somebody who's being raised to be a Jedi and then leaves to go the Sith, go the evil route.
Okay.
And then maybe starts hunting Jedi. I don't know what she's doing. She's doing something pretty naughty. Hopefully Carrie-Anne Moss lasts a long time.
Now, did I read something? Did they say that this? I could have swore someone said that this takes place 100 years before
Phantom Menace.
Right.
Yes.
Now, originally, didn't they say 300? This was 300 years before?
I thought it was always 100.
Okay. Maybe I'm just on really good drugs.
It's on the it's on the backside or the downside or wherever, toward the end of the High Republic.
Yes. Okay. And the High Republic was 300 years is the publishing I think
through
starts
two
300
or
years
300
out.
years. I can't remember what it is.
Okay.
So it's around that time. They said filming wraps up next month, and it's slated for a 2024 release. So that was well. And the other thing that was mentioned is Leslie Headland said, like, I wanted to tell this story. It's got a lot of martial arts and shit, which is cool. But she said I wanted to tell this story kind of from the villain's perspective.
Yes.
Because they're like outnumbered and the underdogs, so they're kind of wanting to make you root for them.
Oh, okay. I wonder if they'll do like the twist, where like there's a reason why they're the villains, but they're really, in their story they're good.
Right. They see themselves as good. Yeah.
Yes.
It's the musical Wicked.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Well, what was it that Amanda Stenberg said that they described it as? It was a cross between Frozen and Kill Bill.
Yes. Isn't that awesome?
What a crazy
That's
combination.
her pitch, right? Wasn't that her pitch? I think.
Yeah, that's wild. That's an interesting combination. Switching to Andor. So they had a panel talking about the making of season 1. I really need to go back and watch that again because they really get into the details of all the things that played into it and all the little nuances they had involved, which obviously was, really well done. So I need to go back and look at that. But they did show a little teaser of season 2. Did you catch that?
A lot of walking.
Yeah. It was basically like they're in it, they're still in it,
Yes.
they're still in it, they're still in it. They just kept showing face.
I thought we were confirmed at one point that Binks was not in this season.
No. She said she was coming back.
Oh, I thought at one time we had said or we had learned that she wasn't, and I was like, "Hey, she's in it. She lied."
Yeah, no, she's coming back.
Okay.
So she's back. We did not see K2SO, and we know he's coming in there.
Oh,
at some
those
point.
motherfuckers hiding him again. All
Yeah,
right.
they're hiding him.
Yeah.
Cyril's rocking a beret.
Yeah, he is. Now, is he working with Andor?
That's a good question because he's certainly doing. It's a real spy gamey, trailer. Everybody seems to be doing something covert.
I think they're all.
And it
double
makes you
agents.
wonder what Cyril's up to because
Right.
he's doing something pretty sneaky. Yeah, I wonder if that switches and he starts to work with the rebellion. I don't know. That'll be interesting. And then I think that was kind of the gist of it. Like you said, it was a lot of just shots of he's still eating breakfast with his mom. So
Yeah, I know.
she's still around. He hasn't murdered her yet.
Yeah, yet we're waiting for that episode. I can't wait. That's my prediction. Is like he's gonna become like the Norman Bates of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, he could.
He's just gonna kill her and take over the house and like
put on
rent a
wig.
room out to people and kill them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
put on
The
the
whole
wig and
series
murder
is
people.
coming 2026.
It's a shame this is only 2 seasons.
I know.
I understand it. Assuming the second season is even close to as good as season 1, it's going to be a show you look back on and go, "What a fucking perfectly done show!"
It's gonna be a masterpiece. Yeah.
It's not going to run it. It's not going to
Right.
run out of stuff. It's not going to get to a point where you're going to be like, "Okay, I think this has run its course.
Yeah.
Like, let's stop."
Did you see they released an extended trailer to only people online that didn't make Celebration, and they show Luthen with a fucking lightsaber.
Right, exactly. Did you guys see that? Did
Yeah.
you attendees see that? Didn't think so.
One up. But shout out Mon Mothma, only character so far to be in more than one show teaser trailer.
That's true. Good point.
She's getting all the screen time. They know who they got.
Maybe we need to sell a Mon Mothma shirt, something with her likeness on our store.
I think so.
Keep your dirty paws off her, Jay. We're to animation. Bad Batch. During the panel, they revealed season 3 is coming, 2024. No surprise, but it will be the final season, which is a bummer, but also makes sense.
Yeah.
I think you could complete the story in another season. Did you see the teaser for season 3? I think
I did. I saw so much though. I'm struggling to. I want to say that one was like a cell phone release too.
I think so. I don't think I've seen it.
It's just a lot of like character beats. I believe.
Same. Okay. So similar to Andor.
I'm trying to think like what was the.
Well, I know that there's a shot where they show Omega talking to Crosshair because you sent that little snippet to me and her like saying like they're our brothers and all that, and he's like nah. And then I think there's a shot of them talking about we got to get Omega back, blah blah blah. There's a shot of Palps maybe like talking to Hemlock, I think, about Mount Tantus and how important that project is and stuff like that. And I think they show Fennec Shand also, right?
I did not see that part.
Okay, I think
but
Fennec is supposed
I've heard
to be
everyone says that she's in the trailer. So.
Yeah, well, shit, that'll be great. I love Fennec. Mm-hmm. And on the by the way, on the panel, they talked about Tech's death, and the way they were talking about it was like, "Oh, he gone." Like
they
could be doing that
right?
to conceal it, of course.
Right.
But they were really talking about it as if like he did his ultimate sacrifice. It was the end of his mission. Like, I mean, they're really playing it up that he is absolutely dead. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I would not be surprised at all if he shows up, but for the character beats in the moment, I think it was great. I think, he's dead.
Yeah.
He dead.
Yeah. Oh, so you were thinking he was coming back before. Now you think he's dead.
Yeah, well, I'm going to change my mind every episode. I got to get the listeners something to listen to.
You can always pull a clip back and say, see, told you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And then Star Wars Visions 2, we got a trailer. Boy, that looks really good.
Yeah, I did. Like, I didn't give a shit about that first season. Hated it. I'll go
You
on
hated
record.
the first season? You didn't like certain of those episodes?
There was a couple of things that I liked, but
I thought some were pretty good.
What stands out to me, there was the old man Jedi on the rock in a field. There was the the old Shogun one.
Yep, that was good.
That was pretty wicked. And then I want to say I didn't give a fuck about the rock band. I didn't give shit about little Astro Boy growing up.
Right, the Pinocchio or something.
Yeah. What was the? Trying to think what else there was. But this one, just the animation looks so much better. It looks newer. I mean, there's one that looks like it's almost real people. Like, have you ever watched? The name of the show escapes me. It's on Netflix. It's Love Robots.
Sounds like a show that's right up my alley.
Love Sex Robots, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're these little shorts, and most of them are pretty fucking amazing. They're funny or there's something, but there is one that it got really popular. I can't remember the name of it. It's like the Siren or something. And it's just this fucking weird woman, like the conquistador days or some shit, that stands in a river and murders all these people. But the CGI is almost it's like Uncanny Valley shit. Like, you're like, is this real?
Well, I mean, they have one that's full on stop motion. It almost looks like, doesn't it?
Oh, that's the Wallace and Gromit stuff.
Yeah, okay.
The Aardvark or Aardman, or I don't know the company name, but yeah.
I think it's Aardman.
That's the one that what's his face is coming back for.
Dennis Lawson?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed. I'm excited to see what they do, and it seems like it's quite a wide swath of stories they're telling. So so that comes out May 4th. So we'll cover that in the episode after that.
Okay.
Kind of get into the review of that. And then Tales of the Jedi. Filoni said, I can't remember, on one of the panels, he said, you know what? They look like they're having so much fun, I decided to do it season 2, which is great because season 1 I thought was really good.
Yeah.
Maybe we get that next year. I don't know.
I hope it's extended. I hope it's more than 6 episodes.
Well, and who do they cover?
Didn't someone say? I thought they said that one of the characters was announced.
It was? Oh, I didn't think they were that far along.
Maybe it was just someone
details.
talking shit on Twitter.
I mean, I was thinking, who are you going to, you could do some Mace shit, maybe. You haven't really shown his origin story necessarily.
Right.
Palps at a young age, maybe. Plo Koon.
Of course.
You know how Filoni loves Plo Koon.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. High Republic? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of different things they could do.
Grievous?
Yeah. Is he technically a Jedi, though? Tales of the Jedi?
God damn it.
See, I don't think that works.
Technicalities.
Yeah. It worked for Dooku because he was a Jedi.
Right.
I don't know.
They're still popping his name up though, man. He's beloved.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd was a fucking dyed-in-the-wool follower, man.
Oh, yes, right. I think that's it. That is a lot of information. That's a lot of stuff that happened at Celebration. It was great to see all that shit, but my God, especially the first day, but the first couple days was just it's almost too much. It's hard to keep track of everything.
I really was surprised that with Kenobi. Mm-hmm. With him being there, Ewan McGregor. Yeah. With Ewan McGregor being there, that they didn't announce season 2.
I guess it was just an opportunity. Well, one, it's closer to his home.
That's true.
And 2 is, I think, just because of the coming off the heels of that show, they wanted to be there to talk about it, celebrate it, having little Leia there, having Hayden back. So if nothing's announced by the next time the next one rolls around, it would be weird for him to show up.
Yeah.
But at this point, I get why he came. All right. Shall we talk about The Mandalorian? Because I think Jay's back.
I'm back. They hooked me.
Episode 7, The Spies. The Spies.
Now, we only saw one spy.
Well, right. Did we?
Or did we?
Did we see more than one spy?
Right.
Well, I think we're going to get into that. A lot of Aliens vibes to this one. The movie Aliens.
How so? Oh, you mean just like them entering the planet and exiting, like that shot, or
the shot of them dropping the exoskeleton of Grogu almost felt like the things that they operate, the Marines operate on the ship in Aliens. You know what I mean? Felt very much like that, sitting in kind of the center of it. Mm-hmm. That kind of grabbed me. I I just a lot of big scenes, a lot of big players involved. No Jack Black, so
made the episode great.
Poor Jack Black. Oh, and did you catch, by the way, just want to mention this off the top, is the variation on the Mando theme at the end? While they were playing the whatever called the concept art, and the credits, it was a like jazzed up version.
Yes.
Listen to it again. I just thought that was interesting. I hadn't heard that version of that song before. It's kind of interesting.
So what do you think about Homegirl just walking the back alleys of Coruscant, like jamming to fucking some Rob Zombie?
It was like techno music or something, like hardcore, like almost industrial music.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, but she meets a probe droid in a dark alley. That's never a good idea.
I know.
So she has this holo call with Gideon. We finally get to see Gideon. She's like, hey, by the way, Navarro went south. He's like, how the fuck is that possible? You said the New Republic wasn't going to come.
You led me to believe. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Read that wrong. Well, she's like, I didn't know the goddamn Mandalorians were going to show up. And he's like, well, what do you mean by Mandalorians? You can be a little more descriptive than that. So she says, well, it was, Bo-Katan and Din Djarin and...
Since when did they have fucking Din's name on file?
He had it.
Who?
But fucking Gideon talks about it at the end of season 1. He goes, you are Din Djarin.
Right, but okay, that's true.
You know what I mean?
But as far as we know, the Republic does not know his name.
That could be, although he's going around sharing his fucking chain code, getting into places and stuff. So I think he's opened himself up a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he doesn't.
But she
really
would know
hide.
from Moff. She would know from Gideon.
Yeah.
So he is like all his feathers are ruffled because he's like, this doesn't make any sense. These two factions hate each other. This has never happened. She's like, well, I don't know. They're working together. So he does a full Vader. I'll deal with them myself.
Yep.
He walks down this hallway that's sectioned off by these ray shields, almost Phantom Menace style.
Yep.
And these fucking troopers are off to the side, just kind of sitting there, just waiting, sitting and wait.
Now, later on, it sounds like there's people in these, like they're stormtrooper-esque like costumes.
It does.
Armor.
It does. It does not sound like they're robots. It sounds like they're people.
So were there people, like, does he have like zombified just people in there waiting to go?
Or was it just a hall of armor and they all had to go in there?
Right. And then everyone run on and put on your clothes. Hurry.
I'm not sure. But they definitely sounded like there were people inside.
Right.
The way they were reacting to getting shot and shit like that. So he walks down this hallway. Well, hold on. First of all, where is he right now?
We don't know.
Is he on Mandalore?
Yes.
Okay, but is he on Mandalore when this call is happening? Because all we hear about is the fucking magnetic interference and everything. You can't get a call. Does he just have magic Wi-Fi? How the fuck's he making that call? Maybe the Empire's tech is better, and that's
maybe he's got like shit jamming everyone else's stuff, like giving Lone Star the raspberry.
We're led to believe that the destruction of the planet caused it to just be a fucking hot mess. You can't see what's going on the surface at all.
Yeah.
So that's why I wondered, how the hell is he making this call? Anyway, there is a council meeting going on with a bunch of Imperial warlords. Now, is this the Shadow Council? Because this is, again, from the book series Aftermath. They have the Shadow Council in that. So I think you've read those books, right? You read those a long time ago?
I've not finished the first one. I started reading about a year ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Aftermath books, there was this council. It was kind of made up of a bunch of different, higher level people kind of trying to restore the Empire. What these guys are talking about, though, is like, we got to lay low. We don't want them to know how strong we are. Or we're trying to look like this disparate group of, random attacks and things like that. So, because we don't want them to prepare for us. There's a couple people that are the most important in this room. One is Commandant Hux, because that is General Hux's dad.
That's what I was wondering, because he was similar look, similar voice, but not him. And I was like, well, it could be his father.
Yes, it is his father.
Okay. Played
by the actor's brother, Brian Gleason.
Oh, no shit.
So Domhnall's brother plays him.
Okay.
So I thought that was kind of cool. He's running this program called Project Necromancy, which is like this whole the whole cloning plan.
Right. Is that the first time they've given it a name? Have we heard that name before?
Which Necromancy?
Yeah.
I don't recall hearing it in the Aftermath books. I'm not sure if we've heard it before or not. We probably have, but I don't remember it.
Right. Okay.
But Hux is a player, a little bit of a player in Aftermath in that series.
Okay.
He comes up there, but then when it comes to the other guy, which is Captain Pelion, played by Xander Berkeley. Do you know who that is?
Is that who that was?
Yes. You know who that guy is?
He had a bunch of hair, though, didn't he?
He had hair.
Xander
he had
Berkeley's-
he looked way different. But
Yes.
that is in the credits. It's Xander Berkeley. So
Wow.
yeah,
He's
like
in
Apollo
24.
13,
He's in
Gattaca.
Yeah, there's a fucking amazing show. It's low budget. Grant and I had the director of it on. It's called The Booth at the End. It was on Hulu. I don't even know if it's still there, but it all took place. It was like this conversation between, you don't know if he was the devil and he made deals with people. And it was just like these stories of like what would happen, or it was fucking amazing.
And he was the main guy?
Yeah, he was the guy that you would make the deal with.
Huh. He's great. I mean, he's been in a fucking million things. He's been around forever. For you Terminator 2 fans, he was the shithead foster father who got the knife through the milk.
You're right. Uh-huh.
In the series I'm reading now, Heir to the Empire, Paleon is a huge character. He's like the right-hand man of Thrawn. So that's why I was saying earlier when they were talking about casting that other guy in Ahsoka, I was like, that's what confused me, because I'm like, well, Paleon's really the right-hand man.
So that's why he's got all the shifty eyes when he's like, well, you could be here anytime now.
Yeah, he's like looking around. He might be here. I don't know. Yeah, he's the one bringing up all the Thrawn talk. Like, hey, when Thrawn comes back, all our military prowess is going to be in effect and all this stuff. And meanwhile, Gideon's just giving him shit. Like, you talk about this guy a lot. I haven't heard anybody else say his name.
This was a big surprise.
Yes. He's like, there is nobody else who's talking about this dude. So where the fuck is he? I think we need new leadership.
Right. So this is going to be one of those things where like Moff just keeps moving up, and maybe the introduction is like the last episode here at the end. Doors open, fucking laser blast, Moff drops dead, and it's Thrawn.
It could be, because I don't think you want to mess with Thrawn.
Right.
That's not a great idea. By the way, there's also a big character in, I think it's the Aftermath books, called Ray Sloan, who's this gal who's like a Grand Admiral of the Imperial forces. And I'm wondering if she's going to show up, because she is a huge player in that series, tied all the way into especially the Hux situation and all that stuff. So look for that. Maybe will happen. So anyway, Moff, like I said, he's not trying to hear this Paleon talk about Thrawn. He's like, basically, where's your boy? All the other council members are like, yeah, we should have new leadership. They're all on board for it. So they're doubting Thrawn.
And then I love how he just talks shit, and then he's like, can I please have more ships and a couple of guards, please?
Right. Yeah. He calls out those two. He says, you guys have all the resources you want.
Yeah.
None of us have the same, and I need some shit. And I love how Hux pulls out his little, iPad and goes, let's see what you ordered here. But yeah, because what does he wants interceptors, he wants bombers, and then he wants
3
Praetorian guards,
yeah.
which is a fun reference that we weren't expecting to see.
Right.
Oh, by the way, he also tells at one point, I think it's Hux who asks Gideon, so like what happened with Dr. Pershing and all his research? Like you were telling us that this was going to be a thing, and he's like, oh, he got captured by the New Republic, so we don't really have that research right now. Now this makes me think, what the fuck was the whole purpose of the Pershing thing with Elia Kane? Were they just trying to like say, if we can't have him, the New Republic can't have him? Like, why did she fucking set him up and fry his brain?
I think they've got his research, but they don't want him continuing it for the New Republic.
Okay.
So he's dead, right? But now Gideon has all of that, but that's what's his face's project. He's like, oh, I have nothing to do with that. That's what you're doing in your zone.
Right.
Meanwhile, he's putting his fucking hand in everyone else's honeypot.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was just trying to figure it out, because I'm like, why would they fry him? And I guess it's probably just because he's too dangerous.
The liability. Right.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And at one point, Hux even says like, you were doing your own experiments.
Yes.
Your own stuff. And he's like, Moff's basically like cloning's your deal, guy.
Right.
I'm just managing my shit.
I've never been interested in it.
No, I don't care.
Meanwhile, his fingers are crossed behind his cape.
That's when he talks about the resources he needs, and he sells them on the fact that he's like, if I don't take out the Mandalorians, we're fucked. And they're all kind of like, that is true. Yeah. Okay, you got it. You got your supplies. So great scene. Unbelievable scene.
Right.
Like when he walked in that room, I was like, oh shit.
I know.
Here we go.
Just swinging his dick.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Back on Navarro, get a cool shot of the light cruiser coming in. That was pretty badass. That thing flying in overhead. That was sweet. It's got the Mythosaur markings on it.
Right.
Bo-Katan, a little bit worried that the two groups are not going to get along.
Yes.
And made worse by the fact that when they land, they all walk out and take their helmets off just to like rub it in their faces.
Oh, fresh air.
Feels nice. You should guys take it off sometime. The armorer kind of breaks the tension. And then the second she said, prepare a feast, my mind went to logistics. I was like, how are all these people going to walk off into separate areas and eat?
Yeah.
And his axe woe is going to be like, look at these fucking nerds. They got to go run off into the hills to eat their supper.
Well, if you notice, none of them eat.
No, they just sit there and watch the other guys eat. Oh, that looks good.
Now,
Yeah, just take your helmet off.
Did they cook one of the chickadees?
I've seen people say that. I don't
Or was
think
it
it's
one
that.
of just the dragons?
I think it's one of those dragon things.
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually one of the chickadees. I don't know. I saw people speculating that they literally called them foundlings. Foundlings for
Right.
dinner?
That must have been like a bad joke that Bo-Katan just didn't land.
Yeah, it could be. These are foundlings, as in I'm going to stuff them in my mouth.
That's an I found dinner.
Yeah, right. Then Grief shows up and gives Din a special bottle of brandy or something.
I love how that
Of course.
fucker just always shows up.
I know.
Like in the background, there's no ship, there's no nothing. He just walks up with a bottle of wine.
Yeah, he always leaves it offset. He always leaves it off camera.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's just walking in. Yeah. Shows up with this nice bottle, tells him, you should enjoy that around a smaller group of company. It's pretty good shit. And then he shows him how the Anzellans have reprogrammed IG-11.
Mm-hmm.
Remove the memory circuit. Now it's IG-12. And it's basically a robot that Grogu can operate. So
Yes.
this is the, exoskeleton thing I was talking about with aliens. And this whole scene is just ridiculous. Grief puts Grogu inside.
Just let him walk around the office a little bit.
Well, and Mando's not digging it right away.
No.
He's like, this is not good. He doesn't know how to operate machinery like this. And Grogu is like, I have a soundboard now.
Oh my God.
Yes, no, yes. No, yes. It was like an old timey comedy
All right,
bit. It was like a
get
who's
out
on
of
first.
there. No. What do you mean no? No. He's like,
I thought, is he gonna have more words to say, or is it just gonna be yes and no? All he's got is yes and no. God, that's too bad.
yeah, those little guys need to put like a translator in there, so when he talks, it'll translate and speak out in Taika Waititi's voice.
That would work. That would work better. He needs to have some sort of soundboard.
Yep.
When they show him walking in the town behind Din and just keeps saying yes, 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 I was like, as a parent, you're like, I've seen this happen before. I've experienced this before. How is he not turning and going, stop, fucking stop? I'm gonna send you to your room. I'm gonna take you out. Back at the Mandalorian camp, Bo lays out the plan. They're gonna go back to Mandalore. Need to send a search party down to check for the forge.
I'm gonna need a couple of Spartacuses to come with me.
Exactly. I am Spartacus.
Yep.
And so, they're going to go do that while everybody kind of hangs out in orbit. So she gets volunteers from both sides. There was a point where I was like, is she going to go, okay, that's enough. That's enough. Yeah. Everybody just kept standing up. Like, that's it. All the major players there. Din, Koska, Axe, Paz, the armor, even the armor, which I was like, oh, that's interesting.
I thought that was a little, I was like, okay, why is she going?
Right.
Yeah.
And then again, as we have always joked about, there's the reluctant Mandalorian in the background going, I'm not going. I'm staying on the ship, man.
You think they would have had like a couple of like red armored Mandalorians, a couple of red shirts to go on the planet? They
should.
Yeah.
I mean, they basically did. The guy standing next to Din later are certainly red shirts. The fleet arrives at Mandalore, and the Gauntlet heads down to the surface. And I was hoping we were going to get the Hudson line. We're on an express elevator to hell, going down. They land, start walking around the main, kind of walking toward the main city, and that's when they encounter what looks like a pirate ship. Now, what did you think when you saw this thing roll up? Did you think, oh fuck, is this gonna be Hondo? I thought it was gonna be Hondo.
You know what? Yes, that did pop in my head.
Yeah. I was like, this is exciting. We're gonna get to see him. So I was a little disappointed. It turned out to just be more Mandalorians.
Just more Mandalorians. Yeah.
But the captain is the guy we just saw in Top Gun Maverick, Charles Parnell.
Oh, that's what I saw him in.
He was one of the admirals that's like talking to Maverick. Yeah.
Yep.
So these guys are just like survivors that just, stayed on the planet. They pledged their allegiance to Bo. As they're sitting there eating on the ship, she's explaining this was interesting, how everything went down with Gideon, because everybody thought, oh, they were trying to make an example out of us for not surrendering. She's like, no, actually, I surrendered.
Mm-hmm.
After we got decimated by the Night of a Thousand Tears, I met with Gideon, hoping to save our people, and he demanded that I, essentially submit to the Empire, give up the Darksaber, and everything would be fine. Yep. She's like, I didn't think I could trust him, but I didn't have a choice. Well, of course he just betrayed her. And then just continued to fucking smoke the rest of the planet. Well done, Bo.
Yeah.
I don't know that she had an option there. But then we get this this kind of touching moment between Bo and Din, where he's like, "Look, I don't give a fuck about your saber. Like, I follow you because you're honorable and you've got a good character and all these things. Like, I'm here with you until you basically solve your mission.
Right, until the bard writes a song about you.
That's right. Until your song is written.
Mm-hmm.
And then just after that is when we see the armorer looking at these guys who are kind of injured. She's like, these people are not in shape to move on. Like, I'll take them in the gauntlet back up to the fleet and get them healed. And she's like, okay, that sounds good.
So I'm going to get out of here real quick here.
There's hold on before we get to that. By the way, did you kind of get the whole Mad Max vibe out of the pirate ship?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Very much a Mad Max vibe. And that's when Paz, whatever you want to say, and Axe are playing chess.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't go well.
Of course it doesn't go well. Of course they're not going to agree on the rules. So they get all up in arms and start fucking fighting each other. And then of course, what has to stop them?
Grogu.
No.
I love it. Just before he's like, should I step in? Nope. We knew this was going to happen. Let's just let it happen.
Well, she said neither side can stop it.
Yeah.
But Grogu's like independent.
Yeah,
I guess of sorts. So that's why he could do it.
I think I do punch the little kid, get out of the way. So
well, and I think they both looked at it like we don't really have an option here. We look like kind of look like dicks if we keep going, don't we?
Right.
This scene where the armorer is heading to the fleet. Were you thinking?
I was thinking like the clouds are going to break, and it's right. It'd be Revenge of the Sith like attack.
Yeah, that's what I thought because they were taking their time showing her clear atmosphere. So it's like, what is she going to see on the other side? And then when she gets up there, they thought, okay, well maybe the ship's been taken, so she's going to say, hey, I'm coming in, and it's going to be Imperials. That wasn't the case. But why take so much time to show that scene and her returning there? Something is fucking up with that armor. And we just don't know.
Oh yeah, I think she's in on it with Moff.
Well, her helmet matches.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. It seemed real suspicious, and they spent way too much time showing it for it not to be something. So we'll see. I guess we'll find out next episode. That's a long play by her.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's Palps level shit.
Yeah.
So as they approach back on the ground, as they approach the entry of the forge, they see this massive creature coming out of the ground. I think a lot of people thought at first it was going to be the mythosaur, but it was not.
Right. Yeah, I did too.
So naturally, they just go full speed right toward it.
Yeah.
What are you fucking doing? Right. Stop or turn. They don't turn to the last second. They're like,
run into its mouth.
Oh my God. So dumb. So as they get into the forge, they escape kind of into the forge area. And then all of a sudden, in comes some dudes on the jetpacks. Uh-oh. It's those troopers we saw back in Gideon's spot. This huge firefight commences. It's a really cool scene. And then at some point early on, Axe is like, we need reinforcements.
Yes.
And she's like, no, we don't can't do that. And he's like, no, I got to do it. And then Paz lays down some cover fire for him to escape. Again, Axe Woves takes the fuck off. We never see him again.
Very true.
Axe Woves in it with the armor.
That seems like a...
I know, but I'm just saying, he disappeared and never came back.
But he was like, I got to go out and get a signal.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, my cell phone coverage is shit down here. I can't
get that. Just fly up high enough to break the barrier, maybe. I don't know, but...
I don't know. It just seems fishy.
I don't think that's... So, Spies, huh?
I don't know. There could be many. Yeah. So, the Axe thing made me wonder. So they get Gideon's guys start retreating, and the second they start retreating and they go to press the fight to him, I'm just like, they're just fucking walking right into it. They're walking right into it.
Right.
They chase them into this huge cavern that where we see TIE interceptors, Imperial armaments, etc.
I mean, I was kind of like, holy shit.
It's a big fucking complex.
Like once they start running down and it turns into like a hallway less than cavern, I'm like, well, this looks like they're running through like an Empire ship. Like, what's going on? And then it started hitting me. I go, the rock and stuff at the beginning with Moff, I go, he's there.
Yeah.
You know, that's holy shit.
They close the blast doors and seal off Bo and the rest of the Mandalorians from Din and a few red shirts.
Yeah. and Paz.
No, he's on the side with her at first.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because they open the blast doors later.
Yep.
But then, they capture Din and in flies Moff
hog
Gideon.
tie him.
Yeah, they do hog tie him. In flies Moff Gideon in his fancy new suit.
Yep.
Looking like he's got the horns on that helmet, just like the Saxons back
Darth
in the day, the Maul people. Yeah. Gideon announces that Mandalore will live on through him, and the resources of the planet have allowed them to create these new Dark Trooper suits that are made of Beskar.
Beskar alloy.
Alloy, sorry. So you tie back to that scene when he was busted out of the shuttle. He says how every society has something to offer. The cloners, the Jedi, and the Mandalorians. He's bringing them all together to create a master army. This is very Hitler-esque.
Very. Yeah.
He then launches an attack to go take out the fleet. Now, so here's where you're thinking again. Okay, the armor went up there. Axe Wolves took off. He's sending an attack to go get the fleet. Doesn't mean that the armor is going to be aboard that, but I think that's what some people thought is like, oh, no, she's going to be aboard that fleet. Well, unless she's in cahoots, like you said. Gideon has Din hauled away to the debriefing room.
I know, like what? Just kill him. Fucking what do you got to debrief this guy for?
It's the Seth Green thing in Austin or in is it Austin Powers? What? Just kill him. Just give me a gun. I'll kill him right now.
I'll do it right now. Yes.
I'll put you in a tank with sharks with laser beams. That's when Bo, he demands the Darksaber from Bo, and Bo's like, "Fuck off. I'm not giving you the Darksaber." And that's when she goes and cuts the hole on the other side to try to get them out of there. He opens the blast doors. Firefight, massive firefight. And, of course, everybody gets through the door. And you think Paz could probably go. Although at first when she cut that opening in the door, I was like, I don't think he can fit.
No. That's like fucking Pooh Bear getting stuck in a tree hole.
Crease me up. Yeah. But he's got to be a martyr and stay and hold him off.
Yeah.
And he wipes them all fucking out. Great job. Has a great scene where he kills them all. But then, of course, who walks in is the Praetorian Guards. And they just fucking make quick work of him.
Boy, did they just fillet him.
Pretty brutal. They stab him straight in the stomach. You get kind of that scene from Lord of the Rings where he pulls the thing into him so he can get closer.
Yes.
Pulls the sword into him more. And then they stab him in the fucking neck. So
were you hoping, as he fell, the helmet would come off and it'd be Favreau?
Now that would have been awesome.
I was like, they got to do it. And they didn't.
The helmet rolls out and it's Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
All this time. Why didn't Grogu use the Force?
Oh.
Like, why didn't he open the blast doors back up to save Din when he got trapped on the other side? Or why didn't he do something to Moff Gideon?
That's a good question.
Fuck, Grogu?
Huh.
You've been trained. Use your Force.
Maybe he's
not just for
hampered by the robot. You can't the full extension of his arms.
So there's the drawback of the exoskeleton.
Right.
Anyway, I just wondered about that. But that's where the fucking episode ends.
Just right there. Yep.
So where do we go from here? I mean, we'll get some interrogation of Din. Since they specifically mentioned taking him to the debriefing room, we're going to see that scene.
Yep.
Because Moff Gideon's going to want to peacock all over that fucking
right. So that's right. So he's going to peacock while the ships are heading up there to fight. We're going to see a space battle. What's going to happen? But who, if it's titled Spies, who is the at least secondary spy? Because we know homegirl at the beginning is. Who's the other one?
It's got to be the armor.
Yeah.
I don't know who else it would be. And like I said, Axe I think is still fishy. He could still be involved somehow with that too. But I think the armor is the clear one. That's
I don't know, because if he was the leader and he was building up like that fleet and they're taking shit from basically Moff's group, like for what point? That doesn't make any sense.
It's the long play. They do this for appearances. That's part of pulling all the Mandalorians together so that he could kill them all.
Well, this is why I told you that he ends up with the Darksaber at the end, so all of the Mandalorians will have to follow him.
Moff?
Yeah.
Well, or they'll be killed.
All of the Mandalorians? Well, it does seem like he
said thanks for getting them all to the same place, basically. He told her that.
Yeah.
Or Dan, maybe he told that.
Well, and then he said, give me the Darksaber. So
right. Yeah.
I'm sure he's like, if I fucking can't lead them or, have them follow me, then I'll kill them.
Yeah, I think so. I think he would like to lead whoever wants to be on board because I think he feels like he's a Mandalorian somehow.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. It's interesting though. Koska, if Axe does take off and and betray, Koska stick around. So maybe she wasn't aware of this whole plot.
Right.
So, Bo and Grogu get away, but they have no ship. How the fuck, what are they going to do next?
Right. Yeah, sneak in another back door. Rescue Din.
I guess. I mean, it's going to have to be something like that because they have nowhere to go. They have no ships to come get them. I mentioned this earlier. You don't think we will, but I put a question down. Do you think we'll get a glimpse of Thrawn to end the season just as a tease to Ahsoka? Just like that last little shot or maybe a mid-credit scene shot?
Do you think like there's going to be a fight and somehow Bo loses the Darksaber and Grogu in his armor picks it up?
Oh.
All of a sudden,
I just can't imagine him wielding that thing, but I guess maybe.
All of a sudden, like the frame goes black and a spotlight goes on him, and and he fucking like grows. Thunder.
There you go.
Thundercats.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm real interested to see what they're gonna do because I have no, like, a lot of times you see the end of an episode and you kind of get an idea it's gonna go in this direction or not, but I'm not sure how they're gonna handle that. And like I said, the armor thing is just so much hanging up in the air of how that's gonna play out. I bet you they do a mid-credit scene of Thrawn,
a stinger,
like a Thrawn walking in the room or doing something.
We haven't seen Boba Fett at all. Do you think maybe a distress call goes out?
Can't get through unless they hack into the Empire's Wi-Fi.
Once they get up to orbit, let them know. You know, maybe like, and they can get a hold of other Mandalorians or something.
Yeah, could be. I mean, and I thought going into this last 2 episodes, I thought we would see Sabine because I thought they'd be out there trying to
and that's
rally
what I'm
them all
thinking.
up.
Like
I don't think
maybe she's one of them.
Well, I'm starting to think we're not going to see her now. They might want to save that reveal for Ahsoka.
Yeah,
and she seems to be just kind of hanging out in Ahsoka.
Yeah, right.
You know, not that she's not doing anything, but that she's on Lothal. So why would she show up? I don't know. We will see. Great episode. Really loved it. Thought it was awesome. A lot of cool stuff. And of course, some Star Wars hilarity with all the Grogu shit.
It's amazing they keep finding ways to make him so fucking adorable.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like it's not a gimmick that I'm tired of yet.
No. And I think it's part of it too is because they don't abuse it. Like I know a lot of people have been saying how Din and Grogu have kind of taken a back seat this season.
Mm-hmm.
At times, sure, like they had that whole episode that was all about Pershing and that whole thing and stuff like that, but he's in pretty much every plot line and every scene. It's just that he isn't necessarily the front and center person about it.
Yeah, it's not his story that's being driven right now. Like he's just kind of riding shotgun. But did you see that Rick from Yama? He came out and said that the title it is like not just about him no longer.
Yeah, it's the Mandalorian. Yeah, there's many of them.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. But I think that like, some people are a little butthurt about that. They think that he's like having to take too much of a back seat. But I think that's why you're only seeing Grogu used in certain spots, not all over the place. They're not abusing it. They already got the hooks into you.
Right.
They don't need to show him, 75% of the episode.
That toy is going to just be killer.
Yeah, he's right over your shoulder
and IG-12.
Oh, that one, yes, absolutely. I didn't think about that. Fuck,
holding
always
the fucking
toys.
Darksaber.
Always the toys.
Yep.
All right, well, we'll see what happens next in the big finale, and then we have this big break. I mean, it's cool that Ahsoka's coming in August, but shit. I mean, other than Vision season 2, we kind of got nothing. I'm not gonna watch that little kids cartoon. I just can't do it.
You didn't bring it up. I saw it was in the notes. I was gonna ask you about that too.
What's it called again?
I don't. Jedi Tales or Jedi
something.
Fucking
I don't know.
Jedi babies, like Muppet babies.
Jedi
like
Jedi babies.
Something.
It just does not. It looks so young kiddish that I don't think I could do it.
No.
There's certain I don't have to consume all Star Wars, and that's one that I'm gonna sit out.
There's like some big fucking spoiler revealed in that show, and every adult has to like, what? Go watch it.
That would be funny. All right, let's do a quick Maul Bag.
All right.
Just got one email in the Maul Bag, and that is from Brian Auer. He says, so many thoughts from this episode where we finally get a true glimpse of the original Mandalorian Super Commando. I didn't think about that until I read your email. That is true. Those Super Commandos in the Clone Wars look kind of like what Gideon looks like. It's kind of that black and red combo and those helmets, of course. So that's a good shout. The introduction of Captain Paleon is yet another win for Legends, as we talked about before.
But you said Paleon was an aftermath, so that's not Legend.
Is that considered canon?
Legends is, yes. No, I'm sorry. Aftermath and those 3 books are considered.
Oh, well, maybe there's other stuff that he has that's Legends.
Because those are the books that lead up to the Jakku, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Battle of Jakku.
Those are canon.
Oh, okay. Well, there must be other stuff then, too. Or he just misspoke.
Maybe.
Calling you out, Brian. IG-12, a.k.a. Kong the Conqueror, from TMNT and Grogu being Peacemaker. What's TMNT?
Kang the Conqueror was Kang was the pink little like brain looking thing that was inside of that, like he was like a big human looking robot.
What's TMNT? What does that mean?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh God, I was trying to figure out what the hell that was. Shit. Roasted chicken foundling. I don't know that that's roasted chicken foundling, but you might be right. I don't think so. And then the falling of paws. I swear Filoni waits till a figure is announced and kills him off.
The same. I thought right when I read that, I thought, yeah, he did that. Like everyone was obsessed with the Razor Crest, and then they blew it up.
Exactly.
After they sold the $300 fucking toy to buy, or $600. What was it? It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Could you imagine if they blew up the Millennium Falcon and like Empire Strikes Back? All right. That's it for the Maul Bag. Thank you to everybody for submitting that. I will do a better job getting my question of the week out next week so we can make sure we get some good answers. I understand everybody was busy with celebration and such.
Yeah. And you'll do a better job answering.
Yeah. Guys, come on.
With that, thank you for listening. And until next time,
laugh it up, fuzzballs.
We have spoken.